our association, the Southland Regional, is probably I think it's the second largest in the state now. There are a couple other associations that merged together, and they got a few more numbers than we do, but we are probably the best, in my opinion. Part of what makes us really good is our technology, and more important than that is the people. And one of them is this lady who's with us this morning, Joy Golden. How many of you have had a chance to take a class from Joy before? Can I see your hands? Okay, she's been doing it for a while. As slow as I can be, I've gone down and taken classes. And Joy said, "Mel, what are you doing here?" I said, "I'm trying to get educated, Joy. I want to get to know the easy way to do things. Come on in." So, Rodney, if you can get a chair, can you move your things out of there? Is that Monica? Are you this morning? Okay. All right. So Joy is going to give us an update on a tool that's really powerful. I want you to think about what sets our company apart from the rest of the real estate companies in the region. Okay? There are three things that I say that really sets us apart. The one is technology, and we're going to learn another aspect of technology today, which is an electronic signature. I'll tell you, I can't think of a transaction that I closed this year that we haven't used electronic signatures. I've closed, thank God, 12 transactions so far this year. I'm way behind my goal in terms of the number of transactions. My goal was to close 41. And we only have about 105 days left in the year, so I'm way behind. My volume is up, though. Some of the transactions I closed are really big ones, so I think I'm over $6 million, probably more than that now. I think maybe close to $8 million in closing. And I just do this part-time. So all you guys have to do is start focusing a little bit, and your business will grow, and you will begin to get some fruits from your hard work. So, but I've used electronic signatures on all those transactions, and some of my clients are old. I mean, they're older than I am. And I tell them how to point and click. All they have to do is point and click, and then they can use electronic signatures. And it saves a lot of time. I'll tell you, years ago, we had to go meet the client, get their signature, and maybe Jessica and Frank were at work, and Jessica worked in Torrance, and Frank worked in Valley, and you have to run over to Jessica to get her signature and run back to Frank, and then you got to go get the signature from the other agent. It just took a lot of time. Now everything is just electronic. So technology is one of the hallmarks of what we do and separates us from the rest. The other one is global. We have a global presence. You look at around this room, it's just a plethora of colors, man. It's just awesome. You look at the diversity, you look at the nationalities, you look at the languages, you look at the non-verbal things that we do and how we communicate with each other. It's pretty awesome. I can think of a lot of different continents. Even beautiful downtown Pacoima is represented here, right? Right here in this room, right? It's one of my favorite places where I grew up. So you guys know I'm proud of Pacoima. I gotta get a shout out to Pacoima whenever I can, right? So anyhow, global is big, big deal. Afghanistan, we don't have any agents from Afghanistan, but we do have agents from Iraq, from Iran, from Kuwait, from Jordan, who work in our company. We have agents from Peru, from Mexico, from Guatemala, from
Philippines.
The Philippines, of course, Korea, China, Taiwan, all here, Armenia, Russia, all work in this company. Where are you from, Virginia, North Carolina? Virginia. We have to all right, so anyhow, that's a second leg. So it's the global presence. And the third is spirit and faith, what we just did earlier, which is, you can't all do it by yourself. Sometimes there are things that seem to be impossible, but with God, there's nothing impossible. That's what I know. Okay, I'm living proof. So with that, I want to introduce my friend Joy Golden, who's going to talk to us about ZipLogic, which is a product, I believe, that's offered by the California Association of Realtors. Once you join the local association, you're automatically a member of the state association, and you're automatically a member of the national association, which makes you a realtor. You can use that name, realtor, in that designation. If you have not, you cannot use the name realtor. You can only say I'm an agent. You can't say you're a realtor. Okay? All right, so Joy's going to talk to us about ZipLogic Digital Ink. And with that, how about it for our friend Joy Golden?
There are two main electronic signature programs, and the free one that is offered because you're a member of the California Association of Realtors is called Digital Ink. The other one, who knows the name? The other one is called DocuSign. So if you get emails from DocuSign saying, oh, big deal, you can sign up for a year for $180, don't do it because you have this one to use for free. I don't want you to be spending money that you don't need to spend. I'm very much against that. So Digital Ink is free for everybody that's a member of the California Association of Realtors. By the way, when you go down to the convention, wear your walking shoes because you're all going down on what day? Which day? We're going on the 8th.
I don't think we determined what time we're going or what day we
Okay,
want.
because the first day, the exhibit hall is not open the full time, the 7th. Kid and I are going on the 8th. The exhibit hall is 9 to 5, and it's free to register for the convention. I'll show you where. And then the next day, it just kind of closes up at 4. It's only an hour difference. So we would go on the 8th or the 9th, and we're going on the 8th because it's a full day,
Gotcha.
just so you know. So we'll see you down there. But it is quite an experience. Have you been to any of the California Association of Realtors? Oh, God. It's just awesome to see all of the things that our business is involved with. I mean, it's a huge convention center, and you just walk up and down rows and rows. You'll see the people from Cloud CMA. You'll see the Zip Farm people, the Digital Ink people. You'll see the all of the different MLS systems and more. And you can buy inexpensive neck scarves if you have family backing. They have cashmere neck scarves for $10. I always get an order from my sister. And so I have holiday gifts for everybody. And sheets and pins that say Realtor and pins that have owls and cute things. I know you want that, right? No, but it has more, it has luggage. I mean, it's a wealth of information. By the way, we are getting a new program called Rebo Gateway. We are getting a new program, a new member benefit called Rebo Gateway, and they will be down there too, and that should be announced within a month or so. We're working on it.
Is that included in member benefits?
Rebo Gateway, one part of it will be included. It's called Track Utility. And what Rebo Gateway will be for all of you for SRAR members is you'll be able to decide what would be a good farm area because you'll have all the solds for a year's time, and you'll be able to see where there's more movement rather than people that live in their houses for 20, 30 years. So you don't want to spend your money farming a neighborhood that's very stable when you can spend your money farming a neighborhood that has transition in it, yes?
Yes.
So that part of it, there's more to Rebo Gateway, but that's the free part for us.
Oh, okay.
And it's really quite, are you using the other parts?
Yes.
Okay, it's a wonderful program though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now you're going to help me out here if I forget to say anything about Digital Ink. So everybody, you should be on the front page of your booklet, and the important part here is the helpline. 213-739-8227, that's Zip Form help as well as Digital Ink help. Any questions you have, you can always send to CS customer service at car.org. And this is car.org/tools/zipform/eSign. Takes you to a page that has video tutorials, frequently asked questions, webinars, and all sorts of additional information. After you hear my class, you might want to see things again. That's the page of information and additional training. So what is a digital signature and why do we want it? Well, Mel said very well why we want it, because we don't want to be driving all over creation, right, to get signatures on documents. The important words here are trustworthy and verifiable digital signatures. So once somebody signs a document digitally, it will have a digital seal on it. And you can actually click on the seal, know the IP number of the computer that they signed it on, and know exactly when they signed it, and know that after you get the whole packet back, nothing has been tampered with. It will actually let you know if someone has tampered with the documents. So it is trustworthy and verifiable. Now, not only are you sending out your zip form documents, but you can add other documents that need to be signed. So when you help somebody buy property here in the San Fernando Valley or in Santa Clarita, or if you were taking the listing, there are local addendums that you need to get signed. So you can fill those out online, and I'll show you where. Save it to your computer and your desktop or your documents. You can actually pull that filled out document in, it's a PDF file, with all the other documents and send it all at once for digital signatures. And I'll show you how to do that. So that's an important part. So this is the digital equivalent of signing a document. And it's a way of providing authorization that it is trustworthy, that the person that's said they were going to sign it is signing it. You do not do digital ink or any electronic signature program. It is not legal for landlord tenant lease documents. They are not approved for e-signatures.
Really?
Really? Who said really? You
I
said
did.
Yeah,
Really?
really, they're not approved.
It's good for a purchase contract, but not a lease?
Right. I think it has to do with the transiency of people that rent. Maybe, did I say that word right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to do research.
Okay.
But thanks for sharing that. I did not know.
Okay.
And I did use it on a lease.
Ooh.
So, Mr. Wilson, do I need to go back and get hard signatures to protect myself?
Right.
I bet you already know the answer.
Yep, I do. Got some
Okay.
more work to do now.
So how do digital signatures work? This is not in your booklet because it's a new slide that I got from the girls at CAR. There's a public key that is available to everyone as used to read the document. So you send the document, there's the public key, and people can put their signatures on it. So they can sign on their tablet or they can sign on any computer, and then they send it back to you. And it has a digital seal on it. And one of the benefits of using this program is if the signing company goes out of business, the document can still be read because it turns it into a PDF and it can be read on Adobe Acrobat Reader. And the digital seal is still valid even if the company offering it is out of business. You still have proof of the digital seal. And so it's free of any company. Now, people with Mac computers, this is extremely important. When you open the signed document, you have to download Adobe Acrobat Reader. People with Mac computers use something called Preview. That will not work with this. You have to download the Adobe Acrobat Reader program so that you can open the documents. Now, you can't see the digital seal. This is very odd, and I'm not sure why exactly. You can't see the digital seal exactly until you've taken the document from your zip forms, signed, and downloaded it. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about because I happen to have open a document that was digitally signed so that you can see what the digital seal looks like. So Sam and Sally Sellers signed these. And this little thing, if you look really, really close, it says, I think it says digital seal. I have a picture in my book.
Signature is valid, the document has been updated since signed.
Digitally signed seal. Oh, a signature is valid, document has been updated since signed. What that means is the first person signed it, and then the second person signed it, and the third person signed it. So it hasn't been tampered with. So this is what you do. When you download it, it tells you on April 22nd at 3:19 Greenwich Mean Time. So if you're sending it to a different time zone, it doesn't matter. Everything is, when it's signed, it's by the standard, which is Greenwich Mean Time. So everybody's will be in the same time zone, in essence. And when you click on it, it opens up. Signature is valid. The revision of the document that's covered by this signature has not been altered. However, there have been subsequent changes. After the first person signed it, I asked them about that because I thought that sounds very strange. And I said, well, what are the changes? I mean, they said it's when the second person signs and the third person signs. That's what they're referring to as subsequent changes to the document. The signer's identity is valid. Click signature properties, then click view signed version to see what is covered. So here's your signature properties. So you see you have all of this information. And you have to download it after it's been signed by everybody in order to be able to click on that digital seal. Now you'll have it in your zip forms and it will be digitally signed. But if you want to click on that digital seal, you would have to download it to your My Documents or your desktop. Okay? So this is free for CAR members. You can use it unlimited. And the CAR forms are pre-tagged. In other words, they're all ready for somebody to sign. But when you pull something else in that needs to be signed, you have to put a task on the document, which I'll show you how, and say initial here, sign here, date here. So I'll show you how to do that. And we talked about the digital seal. This is what it looks like if it's tampered with. See the red X? You don't have this in your book because I only just got it. At least one signature is invalid. So if you get that red X on the digital seal, you have a problem. Okie dokie, let's go to step 1, and I'm going live online. Any questions yet?
I have a question
Okay.
regarding the seal. Sometimes, once we've gotten, say we've had the seller to sign it, and then we have to send it to the other party to have the buyer sign it. And if they upload it into their system, and say they have documents that they also need the seller to sign that the buyer's already signed. I've had it where once it was the PDF was combined, and it actually wiped out the signatures from the previous person.
Did you call CAR?
No.
I don't know how that happened, but you could call the helpline and ask that question, because it shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen, so I'm not sure what exactly happened there. When you have problems, you need to call them right away, but I haven't heard of that happening. Okay, so here we are in srar.com, and when I point to MLS, and I point to MLS forms and click, here are where your fillable addendums are. These are the local addendums, the addendum to the RPA for San Fernando properties, addendum to the TDS for the Santa Clarita Valley disclosures, and the seller's common interest in homeowner association disclosure. By the way, also fillable online when you're on a listing appointment is the residential input form. So if you go into someone's home and you've listed their home, you can maybe go through the features of their property with them so they can see how you're going to input it. You can fill it out with your client. And that's what you're going to put when you go to add edit into the MLS. So these just became fillable, but these have always been fillable. These are the local addendums. You click, you fill them out, you save them to your desktop, and you can pull them into your transaction.
What does it mean though where it says we're not able to save the form with the information you have had?
What did you say?
I think it only lets you print and doesn't
You have
let
to
you
print it
save.
to a PDF.
Yeah.
You have to,
You have to, when you go to print it as a PDF, it allows you to save it, but if you go to File, Save, it won't let you save it. It'll delete all the information.
okay.
Okay, so here's the expo, so you just click here and then you register for free for the expo. This is car.org. When you go to car.org, you have to be very careful to always look in the upper right-hand corner if you're not on your own personal computer. Because people will go here, they will access their zip form, which I'm about to do, and sign in, but then they'll close zip form and walk away. And CAR holds you logged in. So the next person that comes to the shared computers in the office goes in, goes to car.org, clicks access now, does a transaction, prints, and somebody else's name is on the bottom. So watch what happens when I sign in. I click access now for ZipForm Plus, and it remembers me, and I log in. Oh, how slow are we gonna go? See my name up here? Once I log in, it stays there. I can come back 4 days later. If I haven't signed out, it's still there. So if you're in the association office using our computers, if you're in your client's house using their computer, you not only have to log off of ZipForm, but you do have to sign out of CAR or your client can go right back in, which you do not want. Okay? So let's see. Whoops. Well, that's odd. What happened here? I'm going to click Access Now again. Now, I made a template, so let me think. I have a new transaction. It's a purchase. My client's name, they are the buyer family. And let's get the address that they're buying. Hold on. It's a purchase situation. I'm going to find my digital ink class template. Digital ink class. Now I'm going to show you how to get the picture of the property there easily. So these are my forms. This is just to facilitate the class. And notice I pulled in a PDF form from the fillable addendums. I filled it out and I pulled it in because I want to send it for signature.
You made it part of your template, right?
Pardon me?
You made it part of your template?
Yeah. Well, no, I made the template for teaching the class. You can't make a template because you don't know who you're. I have Betty and Benny Buyer. I always have the same clients, but you can't make a template for you. So let's see. Hold on, I have to list. Oh, okay, I could use this. Do you have one of your listings? One of your, anybody's active listing that I can use as a sample?
Okay.
Do you need
I
address?
need
Address?
the number.
MLS number?
Yeah.
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I have, yeah, I don't know the email address, I do have
Is it on
that.
here?
Oh, look up there, it should be if the MLS number's on that thing.
Okay.
Most of them have them.
It doesn't.
One digito 56.
Oh, it
Yes,
doesn't have
it
the
does.
MLS
It
numbers?
Yeah.
You see that?
Okay, so look, everybody. If you have the purchase situation, you've got your
Burn it.
buyers,
14, 15.
and you're filling out the
54,
contract. If you take my zip form class, wait, I'm gonna need that number. If you take my zip form class, you'll learn how to use MLS Connect. Click MLS Connect, and the listing number is what?
Right,
Let's do SR 1414 1657.
SR 141411657.
Looks like it.
Include property photo, fine.
Mr. Mark Gilmore.
Did you know you have this in your Zip Form Plus MLS Connect? This will pull the information from KrisNet MLS.
So the picture comes too, right?
Yes, we hope so. Seems to be taking a bit long, but Zip Form was never zippy. Oh, come on now.
When James gave me that number. Did you see that? I didn't see that.
Yeah,
There you go.
Look, everybody, it filled in.
I didn't know.
So what do I do now? I say, first I click on MLS Connect, then I go to the center part and put in the MLS number and check here and find, and then it shows me that it found the house. And now we're importing the information, and the answers to the next two questions are yes and okay. And when I go full screen, because I'm over 20 years old, and I scroll down, look, woohoo! It didn't put every single piece of information in, but it did put a lot of information in for me. It saves me a lot of time. And when I go to page 3 of the cover
That's the
sheet,
good one that it put in.
What?
Did it put that in?
what?
The listing broker BRE license? Oh, I see, the listing broker is not in there.
The only thing is we do not have that in our records at SRAR. We're trying to get a feed from the Department of Real Estate. Bureau
But
of
it will
Real
put in
Estate.
the agent's number?
It did, look.
Yeah, I see that. I'm just wondering why
Yes.
I didn't get all of them.
All of the numbers.
Yeah.
It doesn't, we don't have it in our CALBRE records. We don't have
With the
it.
broker.
When it pulled the MLS
But you only have
information.
the agent
We only
numbers.
have the agent numbers. But isn't that a great time saver, the MLS Connect?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so now we have, let's look at the residential purchase agreement. And I had previously filled this out. Remember, I'm starting from the point of going straight into electronic signatures, but I do need to pull a property in. So Benny and Betty Byer are going to be making an offer on this property. So today is September 16th, and they're offering, I don't know what they're offering, 650,000. Okay, so pretend the documents are all filled out. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is send them by email, and now you correct me, or Rodney, you correct me if you have any better suggestion. But this is the purchase agreement, you talk to them on the phone, and I would send them out to look at them, to make sure they're exactly correct the way they want the offer to be. So we did that. They reviewed it, they okayed everything. Now you're going to click e-sign. Because once you send it for e-signature, no changes can be made. So you want to be absolutely sure it's the way they want it to be. Otherwise, you're going to have to start over with the documents, filling them out. Okay, so e-sign, depending on whether you are in this view, see the e-sign pen up here? Or if I'm in this view, where I have all these documents showing, I'm going to click the e-sign. Now I'm into the e-signature process. So as soon as I click e-sign, I get to choose what I'm sending. Well, I don't need to send the cover sheet for signature, right? So today, for class, we're going to send the disclosure, the residential purchase agreement, and the addendum, the PDF file. So the disclosure and the residential purchase agreement already is pre-tagged for signatures and dates. But we're going to learn how to put a tag where the people have to sign and initial the addendum. Any questions on this? In my book, I am on page 5. One thing I forgot to tell you, if you had not pulled this extra document in, let me go back. Did I click that? hold on. There is an icon up here. That's what I use to pull this extra document in. Add document, you browse, you find the document, and then you pull it in. Okay, I forgot to mention that. So now I go to e-sign.
What was that tidbit?
That tidbit was, once you have everything ready, all your zip forms ready, if you want to pull in the local addendum that you filled out and saved to
Before you
your
e-sign?
desktop, there's a little icon that says add a document.
Where's that icon at?
Here, add document.
Okay, got it.
So I clicked add document, I clicked browse, I found it, and I pulled it in, and that's what this is.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm with you.
Good. Now I'm clicking e-sign. And this is important right up here. It says name your e-signature submission. It's optional, but it will help you, and this will be the subject line. Oh, did you get?
Yeah, I got
I'm sorry. I didn't realize this is what you want, right? Okay, you're fine. That's what you want. So we are on top of page 3, I think. Name it something. So we're going to say buyer family offer of whatever street name it is. And that will be the title line of the email that goes out to them. Now we have to say, what are we sending? Well, I'm going to send the disclosure. I'm going to send the RPA. And I'm going to send the addendum that I pulled in. Now, does everybody know that this down arrow means, let's say that I have everything signed, but I changed one page? You can always pull down the menu and just send any one page. And that's true at printing too, in your zip form. A lot of people will change one thing in the RPA and print the whole thing again because they don't know how to print one page. You always have that little arrow down at the bottom which will let you uncheck everything and just check one page or the other page or whatever page you need. So I'm sending these 3 for signature. Any questions here? So we go to next. Okay. Several things you can do here. Okay, we have our documents to sign, but you know what? I want them to see the disclosure first. So I can hold and keep the left button of the mouse down and drag the disclosure up or drag the top one down until I get it in the order that I want them to receive it. Drag and drop to change the order of the documents. Okay, and I'm ready for next. Now, this comes up. So who am I sending this to?
The buyers.
Benny, Betty,
And Benny.
and me. The the selling agent, right?
Yeah, you gotta sign too.
So I will check mark Benny, Betty, and Joy. Now, watch this. I'm going to say done. But if this doesn't come up, the plus is where you get it. The plus puts the transaction parties here. Now, if you have put people in contacts, before you started this, if you put all your clients and their email addresses in contacts, that you can always pull them from your address book. It's not switching. Oh, there they are. These are all the people in my address book. Or you have to make sure that several things are filled out. First name of the client, last name of the client, role of the client, and the email address. but it was filled out as a result of me filling out the contract, so that happens automatically. Now, I always check mark CC here, so everybody that's involved will get a copy, a fully signed copy of every document. They will not get it till everyone, all 3 people have signed. But my broker Mel wants a copy. See the CC list here? You can add extra people's email address separated by a comma. So maybe the transaction coordinator, once every single person is signed, it will send to the transaction coordinator. It'll send it to your broker if you want. It'll send it to your office manager, whomever you want. But remember, it won't happen till every person you've designated has finished what they have to do. So that is here on the CC list. So these are the people in the roles. And this is the CC list. Now, the other thing is the way this is ordered. Look at the order. 1, 2, 3. That means buyer 2 cannot sign until buyer 1 is finished. But we're in a hurry to get this offer in, right? So we can actually drag buyer 2 on top of buyer 1. And now it doesn't matter which one of them signs first. It's going to go out to both of them, and as soon as, doesn't matter who signs first or second, as soon as they sign, it will go to me, I'll sign, and I'll have the completed packet, and then I can send it out to the listing agent to make the offer.
And Joe, it doesn't matter when you have the same email address, like you got the same email address up there for you, that doesn't matter so much, right?
I am so glad you mentioned that, because, hold on, I lost this. Sometimes the husband and wife share an email address, but when they receive it in the email and they double click and open it, one will say, "Hi, Benny," and one will say, "Hi, Betty." So there'll be 2 different emails that goes to the same email address, and Betty will sign the ones that say Betty on it, and he'll sign the ones that say Betty. Or they may have different email addresses, and that's fine too. Okay?
I try to encourage them to have a separate email address.
Right. But as soon as they open it, it says "Hi, Benny"
I know,
or "Hi, Betty."
But in
Well,
in
yeah,
my
but-
opinion, if you have a couple that are both using the same email address, John can reply to Betty's email just as easily as Betty can reply to
Right.
John's email.
Right.
And I am of the opinion that using a digital ink system, you need to have a separate email for each individual. If they don't have it, teach them how to, get a Hotmail address or a Yahoo address so that you have 2 email addresses for them, or an email address for each principal who's going to sign. It's an opinion.
It's a good, I think it's a good idea.
Rather, it's what we call CYA.
What's that?
Cover your behind.
Okay, the dual agency. If you're on, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're on both sides, the zip form for dual agency will not have the pre-tags because they don't know which side you're on. So you would have to sign that. Most of your zip forms, when you send them for e-signatures, you're going to see in a minute, they will have, it'll say, it'll have the tags where they're supposed to sign, but not on the dual agency. The other thing that's really interesting, if these were listing documents, all those disclosures where you have to do the check mark, they now work. And the first person, seller 1, whoever you designate as seller 1, can actually answer all those disclosure questions with the check marks. That's something new that came about 6 or 8 months ago, that they can do the check marks through electronic signature. Now, this Verify ID